Right?
I'm
Nobody ever
tired. Like,
does the
save
full
some
run through.
energy.
Yeah. Uh,
And that's, I was terrible at doing run-throughs of competitions. There was usually a lot of tears and the occasional skate through. I wasn't a big competition run-through person. It just didn't, it freaked me out for some reason.
why did it freak you out? Is it because you said earlier that those practice sessions at nationals are like mini competitions? Did you not want to make a mistake, or was it you were saving your muscles?
It was 90% of it was just saving my energy because
Mm-hmm.
like going out and basically doing a competition run through every day is exhausting. And I actually did it one year at Skate America in the altitude in Colorado Springs, and I did a run through every day except for the day before short. And by the time long program rolled around, I was shot. There was nothing left in the tank. So I think part of it is not part of it. I think 80% of like the fatigue factor of doing competition run throughs is mental because
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's exhausting to put
It
yourself
is.
online day after day after day. But yeah, the other part of it is like you feel like if you go out, or I always felt like, especially for a short program, like if I go out and follow my combination in practice, in a practice run through, like if I so much as like do a double three on the triple toe as the second jump, they're gonna be like, oh well, he can't do a short program. He's not
Mm.
consistent. He's not gonna be able to get it done. And it's like I'll get it done when I need to. To some extent, it was like for me in that sense, it was like I'm prepared to compete well. I'm very well trained, and but I'm doing this on my terms, and I don't care that you want to see a full run through. Like you'll see a full run through when you need to on Thursday afternoon.
At 4
You know,
p.m. Yeah.
whenever the fates decided I drew my lucky number to
Mm-hmm.
do my short program, and like that's the only thing you should judge me on. And we know that that's not the case. And I think to some extent that was detrimental that I didn't do that. Even like mostly from the standpoint of like seeing the growth in the choreography. Like even if I would have gone out and done a run through and like, fallen on my combination or whatever, they would have seen that I'm paying more attention to the in between and focusing on the spins and having a little more finish.
Mm-hmm.
So from that standpoint it hurt me, but I knew that I could deliver when it counted, and it was just too much to do that every day. Like it was mentally exhausting.
Now, when you talk about putting out content, one thing that we really noticed is that you always did the program that you were going to do at the World Championships at Skate America. You put out those three quads, where I think now we're still waiting for Ashley Wagner to do that triple flip, triple toe, that double axel, triple toe. We hear about it all the time. We're still waiting for Jeremy Abbott to put that quad in the short program. We've seen him do it in a couple shows, and it doesn't happen. So, how important is peaking, and how important is really getting the content out there? I mean, you did your program every time, whereas some of these skaters, are waiting. So, can we expect them to put it in later? Is it even possible? I guess, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts, and this is definitely something that both Carol and Frank instilled in me, is that like you do the program that you're going to do at the beginning of the year because that's the program that you're doing. And like let's be honest, Jen, did you ever go out in a competition or did you ever go out and put something new in a competition program and land it the first time you put it in a programming competition? I would say 90% of the time, no.
Right.
The
Or at
first
least
time you went
doing
out
it in
and
an exhibition first,
exactly.
something, yeah.
And it's just not the same. So like better to take the hit at Skate America and crash and burn on sort of your big ticket item. Take you like I think I did a quad in my competition program at least 12 or 13 times before I landed it cleanly. And for the big ticket item, like for the guys for the quads and for the girl for the triples, I think it's the same thing. Like you're gonna go down in it a couple times. Like if you seriously think you're gonna go out at nationals and land sort of a new trick at nationals with all the other things that are going on at nationals, like you're either lucky or stupid because it's just realistically it's not going to happen. And I think that's why I think that's another reason that we sort of fell behind because it's like, oh, I'll wait till nationals. oh, I'll wait till Worlds. Oh, well, when we used to have initial round, it's like, oh, well, I want to get a good seed.
Hmm.
I want to play it safe in initial round. I'll do it in the final. Oh, well, I just did a short yesterday and I'm tired and I already competed with it. And then it's like it's already 3 seasons later and it's stupid, I think, because if you're considering putting it in a program, I'm assuming you're landing at 75 or 80% of the time. At least you should be.
Hmm.
So if you're doing it that consistently, like, it's not really that much of a risk. Therefore, why make such a big deal about it and just go out there and do it? Stop talking about it and do it. Like, we know Jeremy can land a quad. I've seen it. I've seen him land quads for years. He does a beautiful quad toe when he wants to. Like, just do it. If you fall on it, okay. Like, I would rather see someone crash and burn on a quad than do a triple toe, triple toe. Like, it's boring. I saw that, we have intermediate men that are doing triple toe, triple toe. Like, it's not interesting to me.
It's time to up the ante now.
Yeah, like, man up.
Man up.
Girl up for the girls doing
Woman
the
up.
Like, step it up.
Speaking of the quad, you were so successful. You landed something like 76 during your career, which is just unbelievable. But it did take a toll on your body. Do you think it was worth it? And do you think that may be a reason why people are scaling back in terms of pushing themselves technically?
I think definitely 99% of my injuries were related to doing quads because when I first started doing them, especially when I was very young, I didn't really go about doing them in an organized way.
What do you mean by that?
The way that I started landing quads is that I literally would get on the ice for 2 or 3 sessions a day and I would do 18 or 20 or 25 and I would just go and crash and
Wow.
burn but I just did like there was no like, oh, go back and do a triple, like, oh, do an exercise. I would just like literally fling my body into the air and just rotate and hope for the best. And had I been more disciplined in like when other coaches would come in for like Skate Cleveland or whatever and saw me just on a normal training session, they were like, "You're insane. You can't do that." I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I was never injured. I would like had as much energy on a Friday as I did on a Monday. It was like quad, 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 quad. I was doing at one point I was landing sow and toe and I was working on loop, and so I would do 80 quads a day on a long day, which is just bananas. It was stupid. And it definitely cost me the last 2 years of my career because I just never, there were too many injuries to fix to train well enough to compete well. I was
Now,
never
were,
prepared.
were those injuries something that happened just on a fall, or do you think it was like a cumulative, your
It was
back
all
starting to feel?
overuse stuff. It was really all overuse stuff. I mean, yeah, I would take the occasional like splat and like maybe knock my back out, but like everyone does that. I
Hmm.
mean, all of the injuries, and I still ever so often go to a chiropractor or go to like an AIT person because my hips still bother me. And it was just overuse. It was doing too many repetitions. And especially when I was younger, not like I don't know if we didn't necessarily know or we just didn't do it, but like
I think you think
until
you're
I,
invincible, too.
yeah, that and like I didn't like until I was older, I didn't warm up before a session. I didn't stretch when I got off the ice. I would like come in from school, I would change in the car, come running in from school, and I would get on the ice and like within 3 to 5 minutes I'd be doing double axel. And like even when you're young, it's dangerous and it's like you've just set a bad like it's just not good for your muscles to do that.